Nobody! All right, everyone. It is the next day. Unfortunately, I can't upload the video that I had made yesterday during the actual Big Ten Championship, as Fox took it down. So thanks for that, Fox. I didn't know that showing 2 minutes of your broadcast during the trophy ceremony to a channel with 146 subscribers and averaging 3 views a video, I didn't realize that was a big deal. I'm not making a penny off of it. You're not making a penny off of it. I don't really know what you're upset about right now, but well, whatever. Fox is a disgrace. Just a disgrace. The day that Michigan football games are not on Fox are just... I'm waiting for that day. Because CBS, ABC, ESPN, all those other they're not as strict about it. So I don't know. But Michigan won the Big Ten Championship, 3rd year in a row. Let's go blue. We beat Iowa 26-0. I kind of want to talk about the game a little bit. This is the next day. It is 5:30 p.m. Eastern when I'm making this video. All the bowl games are starting to get announced. The playoffs have already been announced. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end. But the game went great for Michigan. 26-0 shutout victory over Iowa. And next year, we not only move to 12-team playoff, but we're also moving away from divisions in the Big Ten and also adding 4 teams to the Big Ten in Washington, Oregon, UCLA, and USC. So, it'll be a lot different next year. But Michigan wins the last Big Ten year with there still being divisions. Meaning, since the division started in the Big Ten back in 2014, the East has won 10 out of the 10 years. 10-0. I don't feel like that's going to end anytime soon. But yes, Michigan won 26-0. Michigan's offense really didn't play well. Now, I expected them to struggle a little bit. Iowa's defense does rank top 5 or top 3 in the country or something like that. Expected to struggle a little bit. Still scored 26 points and... got the job done, and our kicker, Turner, is that his name? His last name? I can't remember his first name. But he was great. He kicked, I think it was a 35-yard field goal, a 45-yarder, a 36-yarder, and a 50-yarder. He made all 4. He was the player of the game in my eyes. But they gave the MVP to Mikey Sanders still, who absolutely deserves it. He forced 2 fumbles in the game out of 3. That Iowa had. Michigan had a really good day defensively. Now, you should expect that against Iowa's offense, who's terrible, but Michigan did what they needed to do there. Offensively, like I said, they struggled a little bit. J.J. McCarthy, he didn't have a bad day by any means. He really didn't, but he made some questionable decisions. He was slipping and sliding a little bit, too. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if it was the turf or his cleats or whatever, but it was like he was on an ice rink some plays. He kept slipping and sliding and falling down. But he played pretty good regardless. He made some incredible throws, but he also made some throws that were questionable, and he threw one pass right into an Iowa guy's hands that should have been picked off, but he dropped. So, he caught a break there. Blake Corum had 2 touchdowns on the night. He had, I think, 18 carries for 52 yards. Nothing crazy, right? But he wasn't in there a lot. Donovan Edwards, Kalel Mullings played a little bit too. But Corum had 2 touchdowns on the ground. I think Michigan did what they wanted to do offensively. With the second touchdown that Blake Corum had, he ties Michigan's record for rushing touchdowns on the year with 55, meaning he just needs 1 more. And hopefully he can do that against Alabama in the Rose Bowl in the semifinals to break that record. Now, onto that game, Michigan plays Alabama in the Rose Bowl January 1st, 5 p.m. It's an absolutely massive game. It's the biggest game in Michigan football history, in my opinion. Michigan hasn't been to a national championship since before I was born. So I really hope Michigan can do it. I think they can. I think they can beat Alabama. I think they can beat any team in the country. And I mean, there's no reason to really doubt that they can't. They've proven it, and they can do it. I believe this team is better than they were last year, and this is the best Michigan team I've ever seen. Michigan's just such a complete team and there's just such a team. They carry each other. They care about each other. It's all about the team. I talked about it in last week's video after the Ohio State game. And you know what? I hope Michigan can go out there and win a Rose Bowl and go to the national title game and win that too. In my eyes, it's a bust if we don't. And like I said, I think we can do it. Alabama's a great team. So they're going to give us all we can handle, and hopefully we do the same to them. Alabama beat Georgia, and they snuck into the playoffs in the very end. Florida State did get snubbed. I don't agree with them being left out, but also I get why they did it. I'm not super upset about it. At first I was like, what? They left Florida State out, but I get why they did it. So regardless of what happens, we're gonna play Alabama, and I don't really care who Michigan plays. I just want to win, right? Just go out there and win the game and prove everybody wrong. That's what I would like Michigan to do. Hopefully they can do that in the Rose Bowl January 1st. Texas and Washington is the Sugar Bowl, and Michigan is ranked number 1 in the country, which is big. I've never seen Michigan ranked number 1 ever in my life. Now hopefully they can live up to that and beat Alabama and then win the whole thing. It's going to be interesting. We've got a little under a month to wait before that game comes around, about 30 days or so. We got a long time to wait before this game. At some point, maybe tomorrow or maybe next weekend, because bowl games don't start till December 16th. They should have all the games announced by tonight. By the end of tonight, really. I think most of them have already been announced. And I'll do predictions. I'll predict every game on the schedule. I'll predict every game, every bowl game that we have. I think there's 40 or so. So I'll do my best to do that all in one video. I'm not going to ponder on all of them. Most of them will just be I think this team's going to win. I think that team's going to win. And then some of the bigger games I'll talk about. But I don't know. I feel like I've seen a lot of the games that they've announced for bowl games, and some of them are pretty disappointing. Like Georgia, Florida State. No one really wants to see that game. Or Ohio State and Missouri. No one wants to see that either. I understand that they have to do bowl games the way an SEC versus Big Ten, or a Big 12 versus Pac-12, stuff like that. But I really think, I've been calling for this for years, they really need to do away with stuff like that, and just put games on there that people are going to want to watch. Ohio State, Georgia is something that I really wanted. Penn State and I don't know. This is their job to do, and they're not doing a good job, in my opinion. There's just some really lame games, in my opinion. You could have done Penn State and Missouri, or Penn State and Ole Miss, Penn State and Georgia. I really thought Florida State was going to get in, so I would have had Penn State and Alabama, and then I would have done Georgia and Ohio State. That would have just been my opinion. But that's not what's going to happen now. Bama's playing Michigan because they got into the playoffs. So I was like, okay, well, you can still do Ohio State and Georgia. Well, they didn't do that either, so they kind of dropped the ball with a lot of these games. But regardless, I'm going to predict them. There's a lot of lame games. I feel like bowl season's going to be kind of weak this year. But who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us and we'll have some pretty good ones. I do see some ones that are that one's not bad. That one's pretty good. But there's none that are really blowing me away. So, but regardless of what happens next, Michigan is 13-0 for the second straight year, first time in program history. Won the Big Ten for the third year in a row against Iowa for the second time in 3 years. And Michigan is going to the playoffs for the third year in a row. Instead of being at the 2 seed like they have been the last couple of years, they're going to be at the 1 seed. So it's a little bit going to be a little bit interesting. Sorry about the interruption. But yeah, Michigan's 13-0, Big Ten champs. I got to buy me a hat and a shirt. Hopefully I can buy a hat and a shirt for the next game too. But we have a little while to wait and some other games to go on. And the NFL season's got to finish up, and get into playoff time. So, because we're getting near that time of year. I don't know how many more videos I'll make until Michigan plays Alabama in the Rose Bowl. But I don't know. Maybe I'll make a couple of videos, some silly videos like I like to do. Maybe I will, or maybe you won't see me for a month. I don't know. I don't want to make videos just for the sake of it. I make videos when I feel it's necessary or I want to. And I know that's not really a way to grow an audience, but I'm not going to make videos that I don't care about. I'm not. So, Michigan wins 26-0 over Iowa, and we're on to the playoffs and on to Alabama. See you guys later.